Our man in Hollywood, Jim Brown, had to go to London for the story of Jim Henson's new movie, Labyrinth, a fantasy adventure starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly and a cast of non-humans.
Stand still. Here we go. Turn over.
3, 2, 1, action.
There's something about creating cinema fantasy that draws many movie makers to these sound stages just outside London. Producer George Lucas filmed his Star Wars trilogy here, as well as the 2 Indiana Jones adventures. Jim Henson first came to England years ago when he began producing that fantasy for the home screen titled The Muppet Show. Now, Lucas and Henson are combining talents for a new creature feature fantasy adventure titled Labyrinth. It is described by its creators as both an exciting and fun-filled story of a young girl's rescue mission and a race against time.
And then when you turn to the swamp, Shari, where are you going to turn?
This is the first time that Jim Henson has put all his energy into directing a film and not having to worry about also physically manipulating some of the on-screen characters. He is leaving that manipulation to others.
You're right. There's the fridge.
Got it?
I still like to perform, and when I'm doing Kermit or Ernie on Sesame or any of those things, it's still a lot of fun. But I think for these kinds of films, you know, sort of a major big fantasy picture like this, I'm much more comfortable only directing and putting all my energy into that.
The creature-type films, what did you learn from Dark Crystal that you're applying here, or perhaps you're not applying here that you think?
Well, I like Dark Crystal. I mean, it's a film I'm proud of. At the same time, this picture is a lot lighter. We wanted to do more of a comedy, and so the picture has more comedy. It has music. Has a much more lighter feeling overall.
The 2 human actors in Labyrinth are 14-year-old Jennifer Connelly, who was selected from some 100 girls who auditioned for Henson, and singer David Bowie, who will be performing his own songs in the film.
Everything I've done for you. I move the stars for no one.
We wrote the film for him. We wrote that particular part just for him, and we tailored a number of the scenes around what he would do musically. And we've worked with him throughout all of that beginning time of the film. And that was fun.
609, take 1. And 3 cameras.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, action.
We were looking for someone in that sort of magic time between child and adult, between child and woman. And we looked at some older girls who were playing that time, but it was my preference to try to find a girl right at that period in her own life, which is what Jenny is. And it was one of those nice moments that when she came in, she was immediately right. You know, she just sort of walked in and stood there, you know, the right person for the part.
At first it was difficult, but I've gotten used to talking with the characters, and they become so believable. The puppeteers, they make their own personalities for each one of the characters, and they're so distinct and so unique, each one from another, that you really can get to relate to each one, and it's not really a problem anymore.
Shari, get into your mark, please.
I'm doing a film that I love, and you do that, and I think that's all you can do. And then you sort of hope that an audience also likes it. And at this point, I feel that I'm a person who knows this kind of movie, and I know how to handle these kinds of creatures probably more than almost anybody else.
Hoggle! It's all right. He's Ludo. He's a friend too.
Labyrinth, starring David Bowie and directed by Jim Henson, comes to movie screens this summer. For today, Jim Brown, NBC News, London.